If I show you his report.
Yes, please.
And then we know that Matt Moore is arrested on June 17th, 2021.
Yes.
So 14 months after 13 months.
Go on, Matt. I think you want to say something there.
They needed this guy Schmock's report. They waited until they got Schmock's report to say that the back up what the Agnew report from OSU. It was for like prosecute. It was for effect. He's a professional witness. So they had the same information. They just needed an expert to look at it and say, hey, the injuries, they're not indicative of a suicide. She was murdered. He's not board certified. He's not an anthropologist. He is an emergency. He's an MD, but he's not. He's a cop, but his specialty isn't analyzing bones after death. You know what I mean? We hired one that was board certified. She's going to testify. Not only that, after the case was over, Dateline gave the Schmock's report to 3 more board certified forensic anthropologists. There's only like 150 of them in the whole country, so it's in a collective group, and they're board certified, so they all know each other. So they watch each other's work. We have 4 board certified forensic anthropologists saying that the injuries to Emily's face, where they said I beat her to death, they don't exist. They don't exist. And they literally found a doctor that said, hey, those are injuries, because they needed those injuries. The neck injuries could be explained. She hung herself. She was out there for a long time. She broke her neck. How are you going to explain those fractures to her face? Someone beat her to death. No. And why they thought that they could do that and get away with it? Like I've been telling you guys, I don't think they cared. I really don't.
They don't.
I think they just
They could be mad.
Fuck it, you know. But just they'll get into it later on. But just know that as far as in the fractures to the face and the movement and all this, what she's talking about now, I mean, they got their ass kicked. I mean, they really did.
Shame on them. But nothing ever gets happened to them. So
what she's pointing out right now is why did you wait so long to arrest Matt if the Agnew report was already, and then you had Hickman, you had your coroner look at it. None of them wanted to say fucking homicide because none of them knew. They didn't fucking know. They needed some guy that's like a homicide guy to come in and, okay, it's a homicide now. So they waited all this time to get this Schmock guy who's, if you look into his background, he runs an institute. He calls it an institute. It's like this suicide prevention, international, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking a joke. He's the only member of it, of an institute, right? He calls it an institute. It's a scam, man. These specialists, they just like, they get certified by going to a class that's held by cops, you know, so you should spend a couple days and then they give you a certification. Then all of a sudden you can show up at a trial and say, hey, I'm board certified, this or that, because I went to a fucking, you know, I went to a 2-day class with some cop. It's the whole specialist thing it's a racket, man. It really is a racket.
It's all about the money, man.
The board certified, when you hear board certified, that means a lot because that means it's got oversight. You know what I mean? But if you're not board certified, you can literally say, I'm an expert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an expert. I'm an expert. I am now an expert in how cops fuck people over. You know what I mean? Put it in a nice way. Now I can testify at trials because I'm a fucking expert, right?
Yeah. But it's interesting though, like when you look at it and you take a step back about this schmuck guy, whatever his name is, you got him testifying. Now, put this in place now. Obviously, it's still going to happen, but you had money, Matt, so you could get your own expert in. Now, if this is a public defender, you wouldn't have an expert in for this, more than likely. So you probably, just obviously don't want to speak about it, but you probably end up in prison, potentially, because of that. Then you've got Dateline stuff coming out then afterwards saying, oh yeah, no, board certified, stuff like that. The amount of time you'll have to wait for an appeal is years upon years upon years upon years upon years. So that's the tragedy of all this. That if you didn't have money, man,
my first meeting with him, and I see it now. It doesn't matter how strong or how weak your case is. When it goes to a jury, it's a flip of a quarter. You don't know whether you're going to get convicted or not. You can have a strong case in the world and still get convicted when it comes to a jury because they don't know.
Yeah,
people are lying, and you don't know whether they're lying or not. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, okay.